Welcome again to another edition of Strictly Baseball right here on Radio Troy Digital Sports. A huge weekend coming up for the Quaker baseball team. Doubleheader coming up on Saturday against first place Franklin at Franklin, and then a week off before they get back in action next Saturday. Head coach Steve SAKOSITS kind enough to be with us, and for the first time in a long time, the sun is shining. It's actually relatively warm outside. You guys are getting your final workout, so it has to feel good to finally get out there and feel like baseball weather.
Yeah, yesterday was okay, but today is obviously a lot better. The weather is starting to hopefully turn for the better as we get towards the end of the season, which, hopefully we're starting to play our best baseball towards the end of the season as well as we go into these big games you mentioned this weekend against Franklin.
Hey, before we talk about your Mount St. Joe series in your last time out, you said something to me while I was out watching practice a little bit about this senior class, which I think is a great honor. In fact, it kind of surprised me a little bit because you've had so many good senior classes come through here over the last few years. This one is even a little bit more special, isn't it?
Yeah, no, as I mentioned to you, and it's something that I knew was going to happen hopefully this season. And with this senior class, now we have 23 wins as a team, but that 22nd win was that made them the winningest senior class in school history, surpassing our senior class that we had last year. So it just tells you that the program's going the right way, but also we didn't skip a beat with the class that we have here right now, and even the young guys that we're playing as well too. They should be proud because their goal is hopefully to beat this record as we continue through this as well.
Yeah, no kidding. But I tell you what, when you think about that, in the senior class last year, won 21 games as freshmen, as you mentioned. That is amazing to me, that the steps this program has taken over the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, I mean, that senior classes, that was the first winning season in 43 years was their freshman year. Now you look at, with the class we have with Dorian and Matt and Ian and Kendall, they're leaving a different legacy, and hopefully as they continue to win and do more things this year, that they're going to leave the next step to make it even tougher for the class behind them and try to beat them.
Before we talk about what's coming up, and we'll probably do that a little bit later, we're going to talk to a couple of your seniors, and I want to get to, again, the Mount St. Joe series, but two of those seniors are going to talk today. Dorian Holmes makes that position change. He's now a position player, not a pitcher. Ian had to step in and fill the shoes of a very, very, I think, one of the best defensive catchers in Earlham history, so it's been kind of tough on him to kind of fill that void as well. Talk about these two guys we'll talk to today.
Well, I mean, Dorian making the change that he made. Now, last year we kind of dabbled in a little bit. He pitched predominantly and then did a little bit of defensive work and position player work, but this year we put him solely on the position player side, and he's played first base for us. He's played all three of the outfield positions for us this year. He's pinch ran in some big situations, got a few starts in there. He's a utility guy that you can put pretty much anywhere out there that a lefty can go, and he's going to give you every ounce of effort he has. He's going to play hard. He's a great leader. He's a great guy on the bench. He's one of our chart guys as well too. When he's not starting, he's taking charge so that when he does come in, he knows what's going on in the game. So he's really important, and I think it's good for our younger players to see that you don't have to be the everyday guy to make an impact on this team.
Right.
Dorian had that big bunt this year as well too. That they threw the baseball away against Hanover, and we got the win there because he got a bunt down. Little things like that, but that's to me senior leadership, and it doesn't have to be where you're the everyday guy to do that. And you mentioned Ian. I think I've been pleasantly surprised with what Ian's been able to do behind the dish. He's done a great job of throwing runners out. He's done a great job of receiving the baseball. Last year he put a lot of pressure on himself because he knew that his time was limited with Cody in front of him. So whenever he got the opportunity, he tried to make more of it, and I think he played worse behind the dish because of that. He put too much pressure on himself. This year, he knows that he's going to be the guy, and so he's played a lot more relaxed. You've seen he's gotten some big hits for us this year. As I told him, I care more about what he does defensively than what he does offensively for us, and he's done a lot to help this team, and he's a great leader as well too.
Yeah, guys, you got to have in your team, right?
Yeah,
no
absolutely.
doubt about it. Coach, go back to Mount St. Joe. You win game one, dramatic fashion again, another one-run game, in game number 2, but you split the 2 games. Franklin wins their 2 games the same day. Listen, there's still a lot of baseball to be played, but talk a little bit about the 2 games against Mount St. Joe.
Well, we knew Mount, as we talked before the game, that they were going to be a very good team. They're the team that we played in the conference championship last year. To be honest with you, I think they've got a lot of great players in that team, and I'm surprised the way they're hitting right now because I know that the Hunter, the Hunter kid who plays the outfield for him, he's a great hitter, and he didn't do a lot against us. Look at that game 2 where we end up losing that. We just got in a bad count. We got in a 3-1 count. We had to come with a fastball. Their kid hit a double and got themselves in a situation where they got that run in. But really, this conference is so good, man. Down top to bottom, I don't care who you're playing. You know, anybody can bite you. You look at, you know, Bluffton bit us once; they bit Franklin once. You know, they're a team. And honestly, you look at the Bluffton game that we lost, that we were up 4-1, and the Mount St. Joe's game that we won, that we were down. You probably flip those, and you can't say anything about, well, we should have won the Bluffton one because we probably shouldn't have won the Mount St. Joe's one, but we got that. That's baseball.
Yeah,
you know, and it's our kids never die, never give up attitude. Even in that game where it's game 2, you know, we still believe we're going to win, and we feel like they got one on us. But, you know, we're playing very good baseball, even though we got a split there. You know, some team has to win, some team has to lose. And, you know, this weekend I think is important for us, but it's not the be-all, end-all as well either. You know? And we're going to go against a great team in Franklin. They can definitely hit the baseball, hitting 350 as a team. They got great arms. They're doing a lot of great stuff. But guess what? We're pretty damn good ourselves as well. Can I say damn?
You can.
Okay, we're pretty damn good ourselves as well, too. So we're going to go out there, we're going to play them. And if our cards may fall where they lay, we're going to be pretty good and, you know, compete with them. If things don't go the way we want this weekend, we're going to be right back at it. But I think Quaker baseball is going to be ready to go this weekend. I'm excited to go. I know our kids are, and we're excited where we are against a nationally ranked team and a team that you know, took 2 or 3 from us at our place last year with basically the same team. But let's go to their place and go take 2 to them. Yeah,
and I'll tell you what. Again, as you said, depends on what day it is. You know, and Saturday's a big day for you guys, and now they got a little target on their back. Let's see how they handle it, right?
Absolutely. You know, we like our ball club. You know, I've said it before. I think we're a little ahead of schedule, but that doesn't mean we can't continue to do what we're doing. And I want to be there at the end. Our kids want to be there at the end. We want to host that thing at our place, and if we want to do that, we've got to start winning some games that you know, are going to set us up to be able to do that.
And you control your own destiny too, right?
I mean, we have Franklin in front of us. We have Anderson in front of us. We have, you know, teams that are right in the middle with us, within Transylvania and Manchester right there. And then still in the back end of the season, we got that Adrian game that we moved, and they're a top 25 ranked team as well too. So we've got some good baseball in front of us, but it's exciting baseball. Yeah,
it's going to be a lot of fun. Tell you what we'll do. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back. We're going to talk with Ian, and we're going to talk with him a little bit about him taking over as the starting catcher this year, and then we're going to talk a little bit about moving from pitcher to the infield and how that a lot of players don't like that. I mean, I'm not so sure I would, because you thought you were a pitcher and then you change in your senior year. That's not an easy thing for Dorian to do.
No, but with Dorian, all he wanted is an opportunity to do something and fit a role. And, you know, we want to do that as well, too. We want kids that want to do something. They're going to work their butts off to get an opportunity, whatever that opportunity may be. And, you know, it wasn't as much on the mound as what we felt that he could give us as a position player. And I believe he's played in, you know, 15, 16-plus games for us, and he's gotten in some big opportunities. We got a lot of faith in that kid. And, you know, again, came from a great program in Cathedral. He knows big-time baseball. He played outfield there, and he pitched a little bit there. So he's a jack of all trades. You never know. He might be getting an inning in some point this season as well, too. Yeah,
he very well could. We'll talk to those 2 players coming up in a couple of moments right here on Strictly Baseball and Radio Troy Digital Sports.
For the past 35 years, Van Vliet Insurance has built a reputation of bringing a personal touch. That's because at Van Vliet, it's all about you, your needs, your life, and our town. Along with providing quality coverage to individuals, families, and local businesses, we're proud of our community and the opportunity we have to protect your future within it. Van Vliet Insurance, an Erie Insurance representative. Hometown professionals at work for you.
Welcome back to Strictly Baseball right here on Radio Troy Digital Sports. We mentioned just a few moments ago with head coach Steve SAKOSITS that Dorian Holmes is going to join us. And I tell you what, Dorian, I'm glad you're with us because I've been wanting to talk to you. It is not easy, I'm sure. We talked about your transition. You go as a pitcher, and you've been a pitcher for the last 3 years or so, and now they ask you to make that change, and now you're mostly a position player. How did you handle that when they first brought that up?
You know, I just want to thank you for having me on here, but you know, growing up, I've always been that kind of two-way guy for travel ball and things like that, playing pitcher and the field. So it wasn't as tough as I was expecting it was going to be. But the most trouble I had doing the switch, honestly, was just getting the signs. Figuring out all our signs, all the different things that we do as base running, especially base running. That was probably my toughest transition. Coming in back in my freshman year, I was a position player in the early fall before they transitioned me into strictly pitching. So I kind of knew a little bit about like the momentum lead and things like that, but really trying to master that was probably the toughest part for me.
Yeah. You know what, and you've come up with some big plays. I mean, there's no doubt about it. We talked about that with Steve a little bit ago, that you're the kind of player a team needs that's willing to do just about anything, and when you get your opportunity, you produce.
I try my best. I mean, all glory to God. have faith in him, have faith in my teammates. Whenever my name's called upon, I just try and get the job done, whatever they ask me to do.
Yeah. Go back to the last couple of series, and you guys are now fighting to stay in the playoff hunt, which I think you're going to be there. I don't think there's any doubt about that. But now there's a couple of teams ahead of you. Is there more pressure on you guys right now, or do you kind of just say, listen, we've still got a lot of baseball to be played?
I don't look at it as much pressure. I think if we come out and play our brand of baseball every single day, play against the game, against ourselves, we'll come out on top every single time. Yeah. So it's more about sticking with ourselves, not trying to do too much, sticking with not overswinging, not running yourself out, or things like that. So yeah. I believe it's just with us mostly.
You know, you're probably another coach out there, aren't you? I mean, because you're charting and you're doing a lot of things. That way, when you're ready to play, you kind of know what you have to do. Yeah. And being a senior, too. I mean, I just found out a little bit ago that this senior class is now the winningest senior class in baseball history at Earlham. I mean, I wouldn't have thought that, but you guys have been part of winning ever since you've been here.
Yeah, you gotta give a lot of glory to the guys that were here before us to show us the way, show us the road, the ropes, how to lead a team. Really, especially that class last year and the year before, those had some especially great leaders on that team. So yeah. You got to give them some glory as well. Yeah,
well, I'll tell you what, now you got 4 seniors on this team that are following up and doing the same exact thing. And let's talk about this weekend now. The destiny is really in your hands, isn't it? I mean, you got the teams in front of you for the next 2 Saturdays. Talk about what you expect against a team that's hitting really well.
Yeah, they're going to come out swinging. We just got to stick with our brand, and if they're not too good at holding on runners. And our brand of baseball, we love swiping bags. Yeah. So we just got to go out there, get some good jumps, and just glove it, really.
Yeah, Cathedral High School.
Cathedral.
Boy, I tell you what, the Irish, that's a proud program, and you come from a proud program, and that winning tradition came with you here, didn't it? I mean, it feels really good, doesn't it?
It does feel great.
Yeah. And then, boy, their football program and everything. So this is one of those things you want to emulate, especially at the high school level, too. So,
definitely.
All right. Well, Dorian, thank you, sir. Listen, good luck this week. Appreciate you coming on the show, as always, and go get them, okay?
Of course.
All right. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back, talk with Ian Bach coming up next right here on Strictly Baseball, Radio Troy Digital Sports. Back once again here on Strictly Baseball. The Quakers take on Franklin Saturday. By the way, the first game begins at noon. I understand they do have video but no audio for the game, so you can follow live stats and such as well. Ian Bach is with us, a senior catcher who, and I mentioned this a little bit ago, I thought, of course, you're following up one of the best catchers I'd ever seen here at Earlham.
Oh, yeah, he was.
Talk a little bit about sitting and watching, and now you take over that lead role as the starting catcher on this team. And from a pressure standpoint, how much did you feel coming in this year?
Well, thank you for having me on the show.
Thank you.
I just really loved watching Cody play. Like, one of the biggest things I learned from him is receiving low pitches, like, and saving your knees. He liked to go on one knee, and like that's something that I've incorporated, and it really helps. And just throwing is the biggest thing with me right now. I mean, not biggest thing, but I just really enjoy it just because I'm more accurate. Yeah. I feel like I'm as accurate as Cody, but he's going to beat me in arm strength. But I just really try and keep runners as close as they can. And my favorite thing about catching this year is just being with all the pitchers. Like, I love Walt, and I love all the pitchers. Like, I'm so proud of Colin Gravy, his last start, just because he really, like, there were some things that were working well, and he just really, like, pounded the zone, and that was the best I've ever seen him, and I was so proud of him. Like, it was unbelievable.
It does take a special relationship with the pitchers, right? I mean, you have to not only know them personally, but things aren't going well, you're running out there and making sure you calm them down and everything. What does that mean to have that kind of relationship as a pitcher and a catcher?
Well, each guy's different, and that's the best part about it. Like, Walt, I just kind of let him do his own thing, and I just am nice and relaxed. I don't want him to get too up, too down. And then with Colin and JC, like, you want to be their best friend with them. Like, you want to be their brother, and you want to kind of be more their dad, but you just really want to have them as calm as possible. And, like, with them, they're big target guys. So I try and keep the target as steady as I can with them. And, like, with Walt, he's more of a knee guy. Okay. But those are, like, some of the pitchers that I just really, really think about, and like I just have enjoyed really catching them a lot.
Do you sometimes you mentioned you're kind of a brother to them, but sometimes you got to be kind of the father. Yeah. Do you get on him a little bit now and then?
Yeah, like Gorman's kind of like the I got to do that a little bit with him because you can tell when he gets down. You just got to go up and be like, hey man, like, you're better than these guys, and we're going to get through this inning, and it's going to be all good.
Yeah. Okay, before we talk about this weekend, and as you heard Dorian talk about it, you guys kind of control your own destiny right now. You're in a little bit of a different situation, not a whole lot different from last year where you guys won the championship. Now you're fighting to get, certainly the host team. What does it mean now to kind of have that maybe pressure off a little bit of you guys? You got Franklin now and Anderson in front of you, and you're trying to catch them.
Well, I think it's great that we're playing on the next couple weekends, because I feel like we can play a little bit better baseball, and I feel like it's going to happen these two upcoming weekends. And I think the best thing that I've seen that compared to last year is our freshmen don't play like freshmen.
Right.
I think we don't treat them like freshmen at all, and that's one thing that I pride myself on. A lot of schools, at my previous school, like Tiffin, they were kind of like that with freshmen, and I treat freshmen like my best friends. And I don't care if I'm 4 or 5 years older than them or how it is. I think freshmen are a major key with us right now, and I'm just really excited for these upcoming series.
Yeah, well, they're freshmen, they're still your teammates too.
Oh yeah,
very, very. From your standpoint as a catcher, what do you have to do with this pitching staff this weekend against a Franklin team that's hitting around 350, I hear? So that's might be the best hitting team in the conference right now.
Biggest thing is just keeping them calm. If they say they hit a home run or they hit 2 home runs, and you just got to let them chill. You just got to let them relax, because they're going to pitch and they're going to do great. I'm not worried at all for our pitchers. I know Walt's going to go out and do well, and I believe Joey Gerbis is throwing the second game.
Okay.
And I'm really excited for it. They're going to be fine, and we're gonna win both games, and it's going to be exciting.
All right, before I let you go, you got a little more workout to go here before you guys take off. Is that from a hitting standpoint, this team is not the boppers you guys were last year? How do you manufacture enough runs to certainly not just win these 2 games on Saturday, but really stay in it? You've had I think 9 or 10 one-run games this year, but now you got to go against a team at their ballpark who got you 2 out of 3 last year.
Quality bats and relaxation, that's the best. Danny and Addie are the best at it. Danny he's not up and down ever. When he was kind of not doing that great at the beginning, he was kind of up. And when he went to Defiance, he just didn't really have a care in the world, and he just really hit well.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing with guys is just think about quality bats. Don't think you need a hit, you need a double or anything. Just all you can do is put the barrel on the ball, and that's the best thing you can do.
Yeah, sometimes don't think about it too much, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you said that, because when I watch sometimes I think there's the wheels are rotating a little bit too much sometimes, and probably hurts the ball club a little bit too. So should be a fun week. Ian, thank you, sir. Appreciate it as always. Good luck on Saturday, okay?
Thank you.
Ian Bach joining us. We'll come back and wrap it up in a couple of moments right here on Strictly Baseball and Radio Troy Digital Sports.
For the past 35 years, Van Vliet Insurance has built a reputation of bringing a personal touch. That's because at Van Vliet, it's all about you, your needs, your life, and our town. Along with providing quality coverage to individuals, families, and local businesses, we're proud of our community and the opportunity we have to protect your future within it. Van Vliet Insurance, an Erie Insurance representative. Hometown professionals at work for you.
As we wrap up this week's Strictly Baseball, again, it is a Saturday matchup on the road at Franklin. As you said, Coach, you got to go down there and play well. A team that's hitting 350, which I don't care where you're at, even Little League 350, that's a pretty good number.
Yeah, no, I mean, they definitely swing it. Their ballpark is made for a good hitting ball club. We just can't give them extra opportunities. We've kicked the baseball around a little bit here recently. Got to minimize that. If we do kick it, we got to make a pitch. We got to do some things to be able to minimize the mistakes that we've made. Can't give up the free base, those types of things. But again, that's the way we play. We're not going to change anything we do. We want them to try to stop us on the base paths. As great as a hitting team as they are, we're the 4th best stolen base team in the country. So I mean, we run it, and we get on base. We're going to do some things to wreak havoc and hopefully take them out of their game, because we're a couple stolen bases away from a big inning, and we can have one as well, just as much as they can.
Yeah, going to be fun, isn't it? I love this time of year too.
I'm beyond excited for our kids to go out there and compete, and I know they are. And we're going to go up there tonight, stay in a hotel, rest up, and be ready to go win 2 games tomorrow.
All right, Coach. Good luck as always.
All right, thanks, Troy.
All right, Head Coach Steve SAKOSITS. We'll talk with the head coach next week on Strictly Baseball right here on Radio Troy Digital Sports.